Hello everybody, welcome to English. It's Wednesday the 3rd of February 2021 and it's Mrs. Craven here and I'll be taking you through your lesson today. So we are learning to plot a new story using a story map. And to be successful today, we want to be able to plot a new story of our own and to be able to plot our story using a beginning, a middle and an end on our story map. So this is the page in our story on Sudden Hill where the boys, Bert and Etho, are pretending to be pirates. But they also pretend to be kings, soldiers and astronauts. But today I would like you to imagine that you are going on an adventure as one of those things. So you can either imagine that you're going to be a pirate, a king, a soldier, or an astronaut. And you're going to be going on an adventure as one of those characters. So you might want to pause here and make your choice. Which one would you like to be? Because that's what you're going to plot your story round. And today, we're not writing a story, we're plotting a story in pictures. That's what a story map is. So make your choice. Now, here is a story map that another child has drawn to show you what a story map can look like. And I'd like you to show your adventure using a story map today. And we're going to use pictures to show what happens in your adventure. So all you need to do today is have your purple book open if you're at home. And at school, we will draw our story map in our English books. And you need your pencil. We don't really need to do much writing today at all. We need our imaginations. We need to do lots of thinking. So we still need to think and plot out a story in our head that makes sense with a beginning, a middle and an ending. And we need to have by now made a decision about whether our story is going to be about us pretending to be an astronaut, a soldier, a pirate or a king. So I hope you've made that choice. Now, we also need to think about how our story is going to begin and what's going to happen at the beginning of your story. Now, spend some time thinking, talking about that with your grown-up if you're at home, what's going to happen first. And then on your piece of paper, I probably use about 2 drawings to show what's going to happen in the beginning of your story. So what's the very first thing that will happen at the beginning of your story? Draw one picture, maybe at the top of your page in your book, to show that. It doesn't have to be really detailed because remember this isn't an art lesson. This is where we get down our simple ideas just to remind us of what is going to happen. So what would you like to happen first at the beginning of your story? Decide, have a chat, and then draw a very simple picture to show us the very beginning of your story. Then maybe draw one more picture, leave a little gap between the first picture, draw one more picture, maybe you could draw an arrow in between to show this is first, then this is the next thing that happens near the beginning. You'll need to decide yourself what event's going to happen. If there are other characters in your story, if you're a king, who else will the king meet? What will happen? These are decisions that you're going to have to think about as you draw your story map today. Then, once you've made your decision about what happens at the beginning of your story, children, also thinking about maybe where it's set. So if you were doing a king, maybe you show us that he's beginning is that he's in a castle. Or if you were an astronaut and you chose the astronaut, maybe the astronaut begins and he's about to climb into his rocket. That could be near the beginning. If you were a soldier, maybe your soldier is setting off somewhere on his horse at the beginning. And then you need to think about what happens near the middle of your story. Now, normally in the middle of a story, something exciting or interesting or even scary happens. That's what normally happens in the middle part of a story. So, I'm trying to get my there is my mouse to move. So as you get to the middle of your story, maybe draw 2 pictures that show the events that will happen, the adventurous part of your story. So if you were the astronaut, did your astronaut get to space safely? Did something happen to his rocket? Did he meet any monsters or aliens? Maybe you'll show us something like that in your drawings. If you were the king, what happens to the king in the middle? Does anyone attack his castle? Does he have a fire-breathing dragon appear? What exciting or scary or interesting event could happen to him? If you decided to be a soldier, what interesting event could you show us in pictures near the middle for the soldier? Does he go to a battle? Does he go on a quest? Does he find a princess in a tower? You decide and show us with some pictures. Then, remember, you can use arrows to show us almost like a map. It really is like a story map, showing us what happens in your story as a map from beginning to middle to end. At the end, you want to show us how the event that happened in the middle ends. So if the king did meet a fire-breathing dragon, what happens at the end? Does he slay the dragon? Does he manage to catch the dragon and keep him in his dungeon? Does he have a magical fairy who lives with him who calms the dragon and puts him under a charm spell? If it was the astronaut, does he decide to live on the moon forever and become friends with some aliens? Does he fly home safely? If he's the soldier, does he find lots of gold on his quest and live happily ever after? If he finds a princess, do they get married? We didn't talk about pirates, did we? So at the beginning, maybe the pirate sets off on his ship on the 7 seas. Maybe he's following his map. Maybe in the middle, he lands on an island and follows his treasure map and starts to dig. And at the end, well, what happy? Don't have to have a happy ending at the end. You could have him discover lots of treasure, or maybe he discovers something scary. Remember, you don't always have to have a happy ending, boys and girls, but you're showing us in your map it by pictures and some arrows to show us the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And you can either show yourself as a pirate adventure, a soldier, a king, or pirate, soldier, astronaut, or king. That's the 4 you can choose from. And there we go, there's the reminder. Drawing pictures, what happens at the start, then some arrows to move us on to the middle, which is normally an event, something exciting or scary or interesting that happens, and then an ending. But remember, your ending doesn't have to be a happy ending. Not all endings are, so we'll leave that up to you, boys and girls. Now, if you'd like some support with your story maps, you can explain each picture to your adult, and then if you're grown up, would like to just write a couple of notes at the side to make your story map a bit clearer to understand so you don't forget when you come to look at it again tomorrow, then that's absolutely fine. Whatever helps you to make your map clearer. And to fly high, can you label the start, the middle, and the end of your story with those words, start, middle, end? That would be fantastic. So have you been successful today? Can you plot a new story? Did you plot a new story pretending to be one of the characters? And did you make sure that your story map showed a clear start, middle, and ending on your map? So you introduced us to maybe characters, settings at the beginning. In the middle, something interesting, exciting, or scary happened. And at the end, you told us what happened. How did it end? Was it a happy ending? Was it a sad or scary ending? Doesn't matter which one it was, but what was the ending? Could we tell? So please share your work with us, your lovely story maps, using the parent support email address. And we hope you've enjoyed your learning today. I can't wait to see some of your maps. Bye bye, everyone. Take care.